a glimmer of hope, I want to make sure that you know that today's meeting on these rules to defund DEI, to defund political and social activism, this is not a vote today. They have published it for a public comment. There's going to be a period of about 2 weeks where folks can submit their public comments online. Equality Florida will be sending this information to everyone. We want you to share it with your friends. We want you to share it with your neighbors, share it with your family members, because public pressure is the only thing that will change this. They won't vote on these rules until January. So there's still time for us to continue to engage. And you're not doing it for nothing, because there is a danger, an inherent danger in thinking that nothing you do or say will make a difference. It does. It does make a difference here on campus. It makes a difference in the final outcome of the rules. And I applaud all of you for speaking out today, because the silencing and censorship of one person's free speech is silencing and censoring everyone's free speech. So thank you for coming out here. Thank you for speaking out. Don't let them silence you. Don't let them take away your rights, and keep resisting these changes. Thank you.
Along with all of these rules being wrong and being an affront to all of us here, they're also incredibly unconstitutional. They go directly against our First Amendment rights. They go against your rights as students, and they go against educators' rights as well. I'd like to talk to you guys today and tell you that although these are framed as something that is just going to quash the voices of what they call progressive groups here on campuses, what he said before me was true. When they silence your voices, when they silence the voices of progressive groups on campuses, they also threaten the voices of conservative groups here on campuses. This is not just affecting us. This is going to affect everyone's speech.
You know, what I kind of try to tell my students about our field is we're not just making stuff up, right? This is empirical reality. You are on the right side of history. You are on the side of reality, as it turns out, not some machinations of kind of like white guys who are afraid of their shadow. That we have tons of data, tons of information that suggests that, in fact, in the long game, you will win. And so there's one thing we know, is that when you fight, eventually you do win. So I'm going to encourage you to keep fighting, because you will win. Thanks for coming out today.
I'm a political science major, a diplomacy minor. To the extent that that still exists, not sure. Kind of bad news today. Last year I ran for student body president specifically because of this type of stuff being put through by the Florida legislature. I wanted to specify and emphasize that this is still an ongoing fight and goes way beyond just the Board of Governors. Right here at UCF, we have the Board of Trustees, we have the Faculty Senate, the Student Government Senate, Executive, we have elections coming up. We must be aware that this is an ongoing fight long after the Board of Governors has left this campus. We can still be organizing here, and we must, if we want to get change, use every channel, every opportunity, every opening that there is to make our voices known. Thank you.
Electrical engineering major here at UCF. We learn about history so that we may not repeat it. What does it say about them that they don't want us learning about racism, learning about genocide, past and present, learning about queer history? They don't want us to learn about oppression so they can continue to do it. That is all I want to say. It is very important that you think of it in this manner. We learn history so that we may not repeat it. Thank you.
And I want to give a huge thank you to all the students who showed up today. Yes. Y'all are amazing, truly. I mean, I don't remember going to a BOG meeting when I was a student, so that's a fucking big deal. But I know the fight can feel exhausting, and to give y'all some more context, we fought back in the legislature on House Bill 999, Senate Bill 266, and many of you joined us in that fight in the legislature to protect diversity, equity, and inclusion, to protect the ability for students to express themselves, to allow people like me to know my worth and my value. I'm a graduate of Women Gender Studies, honey, and I'm a proud graduate. In fact, Leandra was my first professor here at UCF. And I would not have known my worth as a working class daughter of immigrants, I would not have understood just the history of fighting for women's equality, for racial justice, for economic justice. I never would have understood how what I was reading in my textbook was being operationalized in everyday life. Service learning projects changed me. It allowed me to read about the mass incarceration system happening in America and to go volunteer at an organization trying to help returning citizens put their life back together, facing all the systems of oppression that they have to navigate. And it's not just about ensuring that we are honoring diversity. This is also an issue of the First Amendment, y'all. Like freedom of speech. We have a right to express ourselves. We have a right to stand up for human rights. We have an ability to express political positions and to have discourse on this college campus. It's ironic to me, the same politicians who talk about cancel culture are now trying to cancel all of us, right? Board of Governors will meet again. This was step one. They're not done yet. This rule is not officially in place yet. It's the beginning process of deciding these expenditures that are prohibited. So we have to stay persistent. And we have to support our faculty who unfortunately don't have an administration willing to speak up. We need to support United Faculty of Florida, our unions. We need to ensure that our student organizations are protected. We need to ensure that we are supporting organizations like the ACLU and others that will file lawsuits to fight back on these policies. Change doesn't happen with a quick burst of energy or enthusiasm. It happens with a consistent, persistent, or something greater than ourselves. And even if you graduate, we need you to keep fighting. Because it's not just about us, right? Here, right now. It's about a bigger we. We got to think about the students who come after us and what will their opportunities be? Are they going to be able to learn about the serious ramifications of slavery in American history? Or are we going to tell them that people benefited from slavery, right?